Briar Rose by Jane Yolen. Script by Hannah Trapini and video by Sarah Bond, Carolyn Vaness, and Courtney Quinlan. We all know the Walt Disney classic, Sleeping Beauty, but it takes a new form in the book Briar Rose by Jane Yolen. Rebecca, or Rebecca, has been enchanted by her grandmother's telling bedtime story ever since she can remember. And that story would always be the German fairy tale Briar Rose, or more commonly known as Sleeping Beauty. But after Becca's beloved grandmother dies, Becca becomes suspicious and wonders if Briar Rose is more than just a bedtime story. After further research, Rebecca figures out that Gemma was a survivor from the Holocaust, who was sent to Semel extermination camp to be executed. Rebecca then decides to visit the camp where her grandmother was stationed. She finds out a man named Joseph Pocky had a link with her grandmother and sets off to Poland to meet him. It turns out that Joseph did in fact know Gemma. Joseph had heard a lot about these treacherous places known as extermination camps, so he joined an underground group to rescue the victims. He was then led to the Semel extermination camp, the same one where Gemma, Rebecca's grandmother, was placed. When he sees a pile of bodies, he discovers one woman with red hair still breathing and uses CPR to revive her. This woman turns out to be Gemma. Once upon a time, Gemma began, the older two girls whispering the opening with her, which is all times and no times, but the very best of times. There was a castle, and in it lived a king who wanted nothing more in the world than a child. Gemma took the spoon and cup away and gave Rebecca a slice of apple instead. Now one day, finally at the last and about time, the queen went to bed and gave birth to a baby girl with a crown of red hair. Gemma touched her own hair, which strands of white curled around the red like barbed wire. Happily ever after, Gemma said firmly, means exactly what it says, and one child in her arms, the other at her heels. She went directly upstairs afterwards. This book was entertaining and well written. It put a spin on the classic I once loved, but also threw in some history too. I liked how this book was written in sections, and it made it easy and clear to follow otherwise the confusing storyline. I would recommend this book to anyone who likes this Walt Disney classic or who is interested in the Holocaust.